All right, hello, and welcome back to Southern Sudoku ASMR. Let's do today's puzzle. Okay, we have an 8 there, an 8 there, so that has to be an 8. 9, 9, 9 makes that a 9. So these two cause that to be a 9. And this one and this one. So that 9's in one of those two. This one has to be a 4 because of that. Those two. This one, and this one make a 4 have to be here. And that one and this 4 make a 4 in those. We have a 2 here, which means 2 can't be there. We have a 2 here, which means it can't be here, so 2 has to be one in one of those two. If 2's in the top and 2's in the middle here, then 2 has to be in the bottom of this one. We have a 2 here and a 2 here, which means 2 is in the middle of that block. We have a 6 here, and the top, 6 in the bottom, and a 6 here, so 6 has to be in those two. This 3 and this 3 means 3's up in the bottom, but we have a 3 here, so 3's down to those two. I have a 4, so 4 can't be in the bottom. We also have a 4 here, which means it can't be on the side, so 4 is going to be in one of those 3. Here we have a 4 here and a 4 here, so 4 has to be in the center of that one, but it can't be in this one, so it's going to be in one of these two. I have a 1 here, so 1 can't be in the bottom. I have a 1 here, so it can't be here. So 1 has to be in these two in the center. So if we got a 1 on this side, and the 1 will be in the center here, 1 will be on the left of that. A 6 here and a 6 here, so 6 is in the middle, but there's also this one. So 6 has to be in the bottom 2. Nine's going to be one of those three because of this one. Okay, so not seeing. Not really seeing any great blocks to start with. Alright, so let's start with this line. I don't know if that's going to get us anywhere. So I have a 1, I need a 2, 3, 2, 3, 7, and 8. So the 3 has to be in one of those two, because I have a 3 here and a 3 here. But otherwise, I can be a 2 or an 8. That one can be a 2, 7, and 8. That one can be a 2, 3, or 7. That's another 2, 7, or 8. I don't know, that was very helpful. Let's look at this line. Well, we know the 2's going to be there. We have the 3 and the 4. So we need a 5, 6. I'm sorry, a 5, 7. No, we'll do 5, 6, 7. Seven's going to be one of those two. 8 is in one of those two. Because of that. So the 1's going to be one of those. We got the 2, 3, and the 4. The 5 can be anywhere. And then help. 6. 7's in one of those two. 8's in one of those two. And the 9. Let's look at this one. So we have a 1. 2 has to be in that one. We've already decided because of that one and that. We have the 3. 4 has to be there because of that. I have a feeling that I'm going to say this phrase several times, but a 5 can be in any of them. There's our 6. A 7 can be in any of them. We have the 8. has to be in one of those three. So I guess that one has to be a 5 or a 7. No, yeah. One has to be in those three because this one and this one. Canceling out those. I realize we have a 2 here, so that one has to be a 2, which makes that one has to be a 4. So that one cannot be a 4. 4 has to be in one of those 2. The one for this line is going to be one of these 2 or that one. Well, hold on. Yeah, that's right. That can be that. Alright, the 6 has to be there. Because I have a 6 here and a 6 here. So it's gotta be in the center. I can't have a 6 there because of this one. And the 6 won't go in the center of this one. So a 6 has to be in one of these. But you have that. So a 6 can't go there. That has to be a 6, and that has to be a 6. Which means that has to be a 4. Because of this one, that one. So now we only have 3 blocks left for a 1, 5, and 8. Problem with this one is it can be any of those 3. 1, 5, or an 8. Did that help us out anywhere else? Okay, so that can't be a 4 because of this. Oh well, the 4 can't be the top line, so that has to be a 4. That's all of our 4s. Okay. We have a 2 and a 9 here, which means it can't be here. So that has to be a 2 and a 9, which means our remaining numbers are 5 and 7, and that has to be there. So we have 2 more in this line, so our remaining ones are 3 and 8. So that has to be a 3 or an 8, and that has to be a 3 or an 8. Let's talk about this block. We need a 1, and a 1 can be anywhere. I have a 2, 3, 4. We need a 5, and a 5 can be anywhere. I have a 6, 7. We need an 8. Oh, for heaven's sake, an 8 can be anywhere. Alright. Let's look at this line. There's only 3 left here. We need a 1. It can be there or there. It cannot be in this one because of that. 2 had to be here. We got 2 in the top. It's got to be in that. We have a 2 here, so these had to be 2, but we have a 2 here, so that can't be 2. This one must be a 2. So we need a 1, 2. So we have a 2. We need a 3. That can be there or there, but not. So that what's this last one going to be? 6. That one's got to be a 7. Okay, 7 here, 7 here. That one has to be a 7, or that one does. Let's look at this line. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5 and a 6. We have a 7, 8, and 9. 6 is there, so that one has to be a 5. That one has to be the 6th. We have a 6 here and a 6 here, so the center has to be a 6. We have a 6 there, making that the 6. So that has to be the 2. Does that help us in that center? Still need a 1, 5, 7, and 8. We need a 1, 5, 7, and 8. And there's a 5 and an 8 here. So this one has to be a 1 or a 7, which means that can't be a 7. And these two can't be a 7 because of that. So the 7 must go there. So if these have to be a 5 and an 8, that can't be a 5, so that's our 1. Let's talk about this block here. We have a 1 and a 2. We need a 3 that can be anywhere. We have a 4. We need a 5. That has to be this because of that. I have a 6. We need a 7. That has to be here because of that. Oh, we need an 8. So if, okay. A 3 really could be anywhere except the 7 and 8 has to be here. So those can't be a 7 and an 8 and 3 still be an option. So the 3 has to be on this side, which makes that a 3. Which makes this 3. Undo that. That's not what I meant. 3 has to be on one of these two because of this one and that one. let's talk about this line. So that has to be a 5 or a 3. That has to be a 7 and 8. That has to be a 1 or a 3. The 1s could also be there. We have the 2. This one, we're needing a 3. That one could be a 3. But that one could not because of that. We have a 4. We need a 5. That one can be a 5 or either of these two. We have a 6. We need a 7 that can be there. Or either of these two. The 8 could also be there. Didn't help a lot. That one has to be a 3 or an 8. I feel like this one can be most anything. That one can be a 2. Yeah. That can be a 2 or a 3. Or a 5. Or a 7. Okay, this one's a 9. 9 will be in the top here, which means 9 has to be here. But there's a 9 here and a 9 here, so that one has to be a 9, which requires that that one's a 3. Because of this, and this. So 3 has to be on one of those two. The 1. And because of these two and that one, that means this is a 1. These ones here are here. This one can't be 2 anymore because of that. So 2 has to be one of these two. Okay, so that's interesting. 2 and 3 are here, and 2 and 3 are here. That means these two have to be 2 and 3. Can't have an 8 there. Those are 2 and 3. So 7 and 8 has to be here. Which means that can't be an 8. But that can. So we need a 6 in this line. 6 can't be there because of that. 6 can't be in either of those two because there's already one in that block. Can't be there because of that, so that has to be a 6. That's all our 6s. So that has to be a 1 or a 5. Which means that only has a 1 or a 5 left. So we need a 1, 5, 8, or 9 through here. That can be a 5. Can't be a 1 or an 8. Let's go ahead. We have the limited options in almost every block except these two. So let's figure those out. It can be a 1, it cannot be a 2, a 3, or a 4. It can be a 5. It can be a 6. It can be a 7. Matter of fact, 7's going to be in this line. And that can't be it. Because those two have the 7. 7 can be there. 8. It can be an 8, but it can't be a 9. That one can't be a 1 or a 2. It can be a 3. It can't be a 4. Of course, it can be a 5. It looks like everything around here can be a 5. It can be a 6. It can be a 7. It can be an 8 or a 9. Okay. We need to narrow down something. Okay, wait a minute. So that one of those is a 7, one of those is an 8. Well, that can't be an 8. So that has to be our 3. Which means that's an 8. That means that's a 5, and that's an 8. And that's a 5. That's a 1. That's a 7. And a 3. That's a 9. That's a 5's there. That's the 1. That one's a 5. That's the 8. No, not an 8. 6. 8. That's the 1. And a 5. So that makes that a 7. And that a 1. And that's a 7. That's a 3. And that's the 5. And that's a 3. That's a 3, and that's the 2, and that's a 3. That's a 9, and that's the 2, and that's the 9. That's a 7, so that one's the 5. We already have a 2 and a 3 in that line, so that's a 7. Which makes that the 8, and that's a 7. That's an 8, and that's a 7. So that one's a 5, and that one's an 8. That's the 2. Alright. So that got it. 38 minutes today. Alright, thanks for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time.